What's up, everybody? Welcome to episode 76 of Smack Talk here at smartgapmoment.com. I'm your host, as always, Tony Mango, and with me this week we have a quartet: Mike Payton, Brandon Ligon, Chris Jester, and Michael Burhan.
All right, fellas, what's up?
Hello.
Let's talk some wrestling.
All right, if you hear a clicking in the background, that's Jester's dryer or washer. Which one?
No,
Gotta
that's
have
me
dry
all over
clothes,
my
guys.
sheet.
Come on, gotta have dry clothes.
So no, that's not us, sitting here constantly tapping our fingers or anything like that. But whatever happens. This is going to be a weird episode this week, and I have to preface it with one thing. I didn't have really any time to prepare for this. I still have a Did You Know? And we're still going to have an Ask Him. We're still going to have hot tags, and just kind of we're going to keep it really relaxed because something I don't want to get into too much, but I still want to let everybody know. Earlier today, about 7 hours ago, actually, 7 hours ago from when we're saying this right now, because it's 10:31. My father passed away, and it's going to be a rough thing, and I'm going to have to do a lot of different stuff. Again, not to get into everything like that. This is going to cause a lot of money problems. We don't know if we're going to be able to keep the same house that I've been living in for my entire life, and things are going to be really, really rough for at least a little while. And I don't know how that's going to affect the website. I don't know how that's going to affect the show, but that's kind of what's happening. So I wanted to throw that out there because even though I don't know you guys personally and whatever, there is a connection between me and my audience. I feel very close to a lot of people in the sense that as I had said before, when you guys donate stuff or when you even when you comment regularly, the regulars like I Curry and WWE Morrison and Robert and John and so on and so forth, like for somebody like me who really has a lot of I kind of beat myself up a lot for somebody who's like, I wish that this was taken off more and that I was more successful and all that kind of stuff. It really means a lot. And as I said, like, even though I haven't met a lot of you guys and, so on and so forth, I felt like it was important for you guys to know. And you kind of know that going forward and all that a little bit too, because I don't want people listening to this episode and going, what the fuck, there's no specialty post, what the hell, or man, everybody seemed so down this week, or like that kind of stuff. So I wanted to throw that out there. I'll be all right. I mean, this happens to everybody. So I wanted to start the episode off with that and kind of just get that out there. That's gonna take us into the Ask Him. Who got it right last week, Burhan?
No one. No one at
No
all.
one.
No
I got
one
it.
at all.
You guys are terrible.
And the reason being, everyone said Ric Flair, which wasn't true.
Brandon
Nope.
hummed the theme last week. How could you people miss that?
The individual that Rick Rude faced,
Such idiots.
defending
They
the
clearly
WWE
didn't watch
championship,
WCW in the 1990s.
quite clearly, and also had Dennis Leary commentating on the match, was actually Rude versus Dr. Death Steve Williams.
I'm just kidding. I love you guys, by the way. I'm being a little mean.
And it was a hard one, guys, and I have to blame myself for that because I did stump you.
At least it wasn't a TNA question.
Or at least you didn't make the mistake that I did, where you thought Dennis Leary, you mixed him up with Dennis Miller.
Yeah, I don't know.
And from the
Chachi.
nobody did anything worse than when you guys didn't hear it because I edited it out of the show when I was like, oh, big things. What does MVP say? Big things or little things?
Oh,
What's
you
my
edited
line?
that out? Oh.
Yeah, I don't think that's on the episode.
That was hilarious. But yeah, so it's fine, guys. I understand totally, and I don't expect you to get all of them right because I'm really old. So by my standards, wrestling, I can go back to like the 60s and 70s with my knowledge of wrestling, but I'll try to keep it as relevant as possible for you lot. considering how young most of our audience is.
So this
So-
week's question is from last week episode of Raw.
Yeah. So let's start. And as all of you guys know, the Ask Him goes in two components. The first one, I ask the hosts a question, and that links on to the second question, which I'll be asking yourself. So we'll do that this week. And we'll start with this question. Considering we've had a conversation about Batista before the show aired, we will talk about who Batista managed when he came from developmental on SmackDown. Who did he manage?
Oh, my
I know.
brother,
I know.
testify.
Devon.
Give me a name.
Us?
Please.
He's
Brother,
dominate.
Us?
Come on, Mike.
Oh, I mean,
Brother Devon.
Finish him.
yeah, Brother Devon.
Yeah, Devon.
It was Brother Devon. Or
Yes.
Father Devon. Deacon Devon. Whatever.
Reverend
That's-
Devon.
Reverend Devon. One of
And
those.
he was known as Deacon Batista, as we all knew. He then got repackaged after he had a breakup with Devon and moved to Raw. Now, here's the big one for you guys. Here's the big money maker, and this is one goes into the whole rumor mill. Batista has been pegged to star in a big blockbuster movie. What's the name of the movie? This is what I'm asking you. Don't anybody part of the panel say anything till we get off this part.
Ghostbusters 3.
What's the part of the movie? Who's the character that he's playing? And for an extra point, for a bonus, if you know the bonus, which MMA fighting league did Batista compete for in his first and final match on
First and
live
only.
stream? So that's those three components. So basically, what was the character's name in the movie that he's going to be starring in? What's the rumored movie? And which was the MMA company that he competed in? I don't want to know who he was contracted to be with at some point, but didn't happen. Who was the MMA company's name? What was their name? The company that he competed with in his first, only, and final match.
I thought when you were saying that it leads in from Batista being repackaged that you were going to ask after Melina slept with Batista, whose package did she move on to next?
I could add that one on there if you want.
That's
We'll do
tiebreaker then.
the Tony Mango bonus. Whose package did you move on to next after Batista?
If you answer the entire WWE roster, you may be correct. All right, guys, that does this for part one. Part two, we're going to talk about the hot tags and basically just end off this episode. So check out part two coming your way right after this.